APT Jamie here, and today we're going to play with painty napkins or painty paper towels and cocktail dinner designer fancy napkins, y'all. So this, the painty paper towels that I've collected or have created myself by mopping up acrylic paints and inks and stuff like that, along with a lot of my buddies, some of my buddies from the church when I go visit and or art over at the church with my lady friends. Yeah, I sometimes have to fish these out of the trash can because they're like, no. And I'm like, give me that treasure, y'all. Don't be throwing that treasure away. So what I'm doing is I've already done a test and my idea worked pretty doggone good. But I found out that when you laminate paper towels, because I'm going to do just a single layer of the towels because it's a double layer paper towel, y'all. AKA kitchen towel for you folks in other non-American countries. Anywho, they stretch. I didn't know that. I guess I probably should have, but I didn't know that. So I'm spending all this time trying to get this straight edge, but I'm just going to change that later and just go for decal edges in a little while. You'll see. So I'm essentially just cutting it down to size because I'm limited by the size of my napkin, right? So that's the height of it. And I'm like, well, let's just do it square. So I'm going to basically make it square-ish. So I'm going to water cut it now, which is a much better, more butter idea, y'all. Look at that decal edge. I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do all the edges like that. I don't know how long I'm going to make y'all suffer through this because this is a pretty long video for me. It's like 30-something minutes, y'all. Over 30 minutes, but under 35. Pretty sure. So I'm going to cut my laminating pouches down to size. Now, like I said, I'd already determined that they stretch, so I'm leaving about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on all sides, y'all, because you want to make sure that it seals up, so you don't want anything sticking out. I know I've got scrap laminating pouches, and I'm already thinking on how to use them. But this turned out so good, y'all. I'm so happy with this that I sent it off to a magazine. That's why y'all just now finding out about it. And at the time of this voiceover, I don't know if it's been accepted or returned or that they ever even got it. I just don't know. It's a surprise. Okay, but we should know by the time this video airs if it should ever air. So there, I made my sandwich with my little paper towel piece in the pouch, and I'm gonna run it through the laminating machine. I'm crossing my fingers. That's me crossing my fingers, and it's looking good so far. Oh, y'all, I just love this so much. I was so stinking excited, and I couldn't find any other videos on the YouTubes at that time, okay, where anybody else had tried this. I'm not saying nobody else has tried it. I'm not saying I invented it, but I think I did. I don't know. Okay, so here I'm just going to show you how you can just essentially collage with paper napkins, but we're not collaging onto other paper. Okay, so here's the little trick. Well, that's not entirely true. We're going to collage the paper napkin bits onto a piece of the white backing, because you know you got your napkins have 1 to 2 layers of white paper underneath the design part. Okay, so you want to peel them apart. I'm going to show y'all in a little while because my video got all out of sequence. Yeah, you know me, it happens. Hey, if I get the voices over better, then you know we get out of sequencing. So I'm just water cutting with the water brush there. That's where you dampen with the brush and water, and then you peel it away so you get a deckled edge, because I didn't want straight edges, and that's just the white underneath. Now these are all real thin. I'm using flat matte medium on everything. Okay, pretty much every day. So I'm getting that nice and wet, and I'm going to start collaging on these little pieces. Okay, now you have to be careful and gentle, because I know I'm going really fast because this is a really long video. I had like over 2 hours of recordings, and I've whittled it down to like 35 minutes, okay? So anyway, I'm just collaging those bits on. So it just goes to show you can collage paper napkin, okay? Not on heavy paper. That is butcher paper I'm working on, and the waxed side of the butcher paper. This does not work. It will not peel off a deli paper, and the wax paper, it won't peel off of that either. Just saying, in my experience, okay? Because I'm an expert. So the size I want my napkin pages to be are roughly 5.5 by 5.5. Now I'm not going for a perfectly smooth edge, so that's why I'm just kind of guesstimating. See, I'm just kind of holding my ruler up there because I'm piecing together these pieces off of here. I wanted 2 birds, and I'm going to be filling a 5 by 5. Now, once that top layer dries, you want to let that dry completely. Then you're going to tease it up with your fingernail and pull it off, and then you're going to matte medium the back. Now, all these are dry. Now, you know, I worked on this over several days. Okay, y'all? Okay. So, and you got to be careful when you peel them off, because if they're any damp wet, they're not going to want to peel off. I'm kind of showing you, if you can see on the screen, that there's some parts that didn't totally become sort of translucent. You know how napkins do. They become somewhat translucent, which is what we want. Now, I know more or less we could just say, well, this is just a napkin skin, Jamie. That's all that is, APG. It's just a napkin skin. And I'd have to agree with you. Okay, we are just using matte medium. We're not using anything heavy like a gel. Okay, so once my first layer dried, then I pulled them all off easily and gently, and I'm going to matte medium over all the backs of them. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to stamp on this, because yes, you can stamp on it, but oh, I'm not stamping on it. No, I'm going to heat emboss on this, y'all. Gonna heat emboss on this, and it's just, you know, your sticky embossing ink there. Y'all are so excited about this. It might be old news by the time y'all see this, but I'm telling you, you might be able to tell, I am still very excited. So this is some pre-mixed up bits of embossing powder that I had used and mixed for whatever reason. I had it mixed up, and I thought, well, we're just going to use that. So I have no idea what colors are in there. Okay, it's magical, y'all. It's just magical. So I had these quotes I had thought at, because, you know, blah blah blah, long story short, I had the idea, thought of these quotes, you know, yada yada yada. Anywho, so I'm just kind of swinging it off. Now you can see that napkin's pretty still flimsy, like it's not as delicate as it was, because it has a coat of matte medium on the back and a coat of matte medium on the front. But it's still got that airy feeling, which is what I wanted to maintain, the translucency quality and the flimsiness of napkins. So as you can see, that little tiny bit of embossing powder has gone a long way, and I still have this teeny tiny bit left I can do something with. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if I'm going to do anything with it. I may eventually just pour it into another bottle that has extra stuff. So we're just wiping it up with the baby wipe there. Get ready for the heat gun. Now you got to be careful with the heat gun, y'all, because they get really hot. Now we're talking about something that's been somewhat plasticized, okay? So keep that in mind. I don't know if you can tell it melted, but it melted. So now I'm going to wave my hand over there, put a little cool on there, get that heat off of there. Oh, did y'all see that? I'm telling you, it just makes me excited. So I got this magazine the other day, and there was a caterpillar in it, and I said, oh, I need that caterpillar. How did the Lord know I needed a caterpillar? So I put it, it's for my own personal use, y'all, and I scanned it and changed the color and resized it a little bit, and now I'm going to put it on this page. And this page says, it starts off at, you know, some days. It's just some days are perfect butterfly days, full of magical transformations. or maybe green caterpillars. That's pretty much how my quotes go on this whole thing. Now, I'm putting some a little bit of black ink underneath there. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but you can tell in real life. Just saying. So, long video, y'all. So here we go. This is just a smaller size napkin. I'm folding back on the creases that it already had, even though that's not necessary because I figured out a more better way. I'd already trimmed off some of the edges. I'm going to peel off my layers. This one has 2 white layers on it. The one is partially printed. I'm going to hang on to that one because I got a plan for that. Okay, so that's going over there on the other side. It's going on the keeping side. So here we go. Squishing our matte medium out over there. Most of this video is very sped up. Okay, now I'm going to stretch out that crease with my fingers, see? And the crease just mostly disappears. But in the end, I love the wrinkles that I get in some of the napkins. As you know, napkins will wrinkle when you're putting the matte medium on there. Okay? That adds to the character and loveliness that is napkin art, y'all. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. So there, I'm just smooshing that over. Just like that. And I'm going to set it aside and it's going to dry. Totally dry. Oh, sorry about that little head. So now I'm going to use my my Tim Holtz stamping platform there, trimming off that edge because I don't need those edges. I'm fixing the stamp on it. Whereas that other one we stamped directly on there so we could heat emboss on there. Okay? And it works pretty well because remember your napkin's sealed up now, somewhat plasticized. So you got to be careful with the heat gun, y'all. Just saying, just a reminder. So now we're going to stamp this here cityscape on there. Oh, there's a list of ingredients in the description box below the video. Be sure to click on the word more to see more. Okay? If I don't know where I got the stamp from, I did put it on there because some stamps I just don't know where they come from. Anyway, so we're stamping on there. Now, napkins are absorbent. This is not a sealed up napkin. This is just the under printed side. Okay, because you know how when they print them, the print goes through to that first layer. That's what this one is. So I do that until I get it about as dark as I want. Now this one is a size I'm gonna tear it down to my 5.5 and 5.5, mostly more or less about 5.5 by 5.5. Because remember, we want to keep an open edge in our laminate pocket because we want to make sure it seals all the way around the napkin. Okay. That means you have clear edges around your napkin page. Now, yes, once these pages are done, they're done. You can't do nothing really to them. And I guess you could use, what is that erasable ink? You know, the whiteboard marker stuff. Anyway, you could use that, or you could use it for dashboard. They did maintain their texture. Ones that had texture, they maintained their texture because I used a thin laminating pouch. I think it's a 3 milliliter. I don't know how you say that. You know, would it be redundant to say I was in Texas, y'all? Anyway, so now we're just going to collage that on. Now the blue part is already a dried matte medium napkin, and we're going to collage on the stamped image. Now you want to use permanent ink, otherwise it's going to run, y'all. Now, and I didn't collage anything, look at that, on any of these, on anything thicker than regular copy paper. Meaning I used napkin itself, or I used tracing paper, or just copy paper, and any thin papers would probably work. Now we're going to heat emboss on this one here again. Don't worry, I got not just heat embossing, we got some foiling coming up, y'all. I'm telling you, I sort of went crazy. I'm sure some of y'all are going to think of some other things. Did I paint on them? I don't know if I'm going to tell you if I painted on them. You know, deli paper would probably work on this too. It's just I had some, you know, my coffee dye paper. Y'all remember the coffee dyeing video, that dyeing to stain video I did? I'll link in the upper right hand corner. Should I remember to do so? Okay, I'm just brushing away some of that embossing powder because I want sort of more wispier. I don't know how to explain it, y'all. It's going to go with my quote. Now, the quotes came first. The quotes came before the napkin, laminated napkin pages did, y'all. That happens sometimes because I knew what I wanted to do. I had already figured out I could do it, so I had to think of something to put on my pages. Because once you seal them up, you know, that's it. You can't decorate them no more. They's done, y'all. So I thought of my quotes, and then I made pages. Did I make pages to go with the quotes? Sort of, but not really. Because the quotes are really going to work on pretty much any background, in my opinion. Any background will work with the quotes, whichever way you want to put it. Now, she is a coffee dyed tracing paper, and I die cut her out. Now, to die cut with thin paper, you want to put a piece of copy paper, at least copy paper weight behind it, or cardstock, so that it will die cut and or punch successfully. Otherwise, it's liable to tear and get all that. Now, we're going to be painting on this one. We got some acrylic paints, and I've just kind of watered them down a little bit because I want to maintain my translucent quality of these napkins. Now, I have a couple darker napkins. They don't totally look see-through, but when you hold them up, you can see through them. Just saying, okay? So excited. She's getting a fuchsia top, y'all. Ta-da! That's the Ta-Da Girl by Jane Davenport. She came from my Secret Santa, and I loves her. Just in case y'all was wondering. Was anybody wondering? Well, I'll tell you anyway. So anyway, so see, you can kind of paint on them. You can also use gel pens on them, or at least my gel pens worked. There's my quote for this one. It's actually, some of them are longer than others, but, you know, they're a little snarky, sort of. I was so pleased. My husband giggled when he read them. Well, chuckled. He's a man. He don't giggle. So it says, some days I can fly high enough to reach the stars, and then something about spilling stardust or glitter, as the case may be, everywhere. That's what that one was. I don't know. In the photo montage towards at the endish, hopefully y'all will be able to read them, because this was hard to photograph. This is another die cut. That is a piece of tracing paper that was spritzed with different spray inks. I'm sure it was Ranger and Delusions, those kind of inks. Okay? Description box below will give you a list of ingredients. And some of the napkins I didn't collage on. Some of the napkins I left the background exactly as the napkin. This one we're going to stamp directly onto the napkin. It's already sealed with the matte medium at this point, y'all. As you can see, it's stamping just fine. The stamp ink is a little sticky. The napkin is a little sticky, so you want to make sure you keep these as you're letting them dry. You want to keep them between stuff that's not going to stick together, aka the butcher paper that I'm still working on. Now we're going to do some foiling, and I'm going to use sticky embossing powder, but that won't be the only thing I do with foil. Okay? You'll have to stay tuned. I know, cliffhanger. So that's some of that MINC foil, you know, works with the heat and all that stuff. So that's my sticky embossing ink, and I'm putting it on a stamp, and we're going to stamp that on there. And none of these are really going to be perfect coverage, but I'm not looking for perfect coverage. That's Ranger Sticky Embossing Powder, and we're going to sprinkle it on there. Okay, dust it off. Oh, wispy napkins. Y'all, it just makes me so stinking happy. So anyway, heat gun, y'all. Gonna heat up that a little bit. Those are kind of splatters, and I don't remember where that acrylic stamp came from. Hurry up now. This is pretty much real time on this segment, y'all. I know. Put that foil on there right away. Cool it off. Look at the foil stuck right where I wanted it to. Okay, so we're going to put some more around that juggler. That's silver. I did some gold, and then I had a piece of leftover iridescent one that I used on something. I don't show you each and every one that I did because I did 12 pages, y'all. Did 12 pages for my little journal. And which y'all probably saw the first page, or the cover. The cover, I used the paper towel, laminated paper towel for the cover because it's just a little firmer than the napkin pages. They are still somewhat flimsy-ish. See, you gotta hurry up and get that on there because it only stays sticky when it's warm, hot, warm. Okay, see, it's resistant pulling off, so I'm fanning it with my hand and cool it off a little bit. So cute. And yes, the shimmer shows up after it gets laminated. It still shows up. And I used glitter ink gel pens in some places, y'all, and it still shows up in the lamination. Are you going to be able to see it on the video in the photo montage? Very doubtful, because you know the laminated sheets are pretty shiny, and they're hard to photograph. I'm not gonna lie about that. They just are, y'all. But it just made me so stinking happy. I felt so original and so creative, and it just kept going on and on and on. And this, we're gonna paint on this one. We're gonna paint on our little juggler guy. And his shirt stayed pretty dark red, but it's somewhat of a it's hard to explain, y'all. You can still see through it. That blue you can't hardly see through, so I come back with some water to wash it down a little bit. And I don't necessarily think I show you any places where I used the glitter ink, but I also used a Jelly Roll Stardust. Y'all know that's my favorite pen, shiny ink pen. So now we're going to use planter glue. Zandra, thank you so much for informing us about this. This is Prima planter glue, and I'm putting it on a die cut. Okay, now I'm still working on my waxed side of my butcher paper, y'all. And that needs to set, this is on real time here. That needs to set for anywhere from 20 to 30, even a full minute, y'all. Because we want it to stay sticky, almost dry. I can't tell you how much it is, how dry, how not. It's like cleaning, it's like putting the foil on the alcohol inks. Y'all remember that? I'll try to link that to you if I think about it, because yeah, that was fun too. Thanks for Zandra again for showing me that. So I'm fanning it just a little bit, and here this is some leftover holographic paper film, pretty side up. And I'm rubbing it down, and I thought, I better use a cloth because working with this foil seems to make it stick better if you rub it with cloth. Just saying. Real time on this little segment. Here it comes. See, it's sticking where the planter glue was too. But that foil's going to come right off of there. And it leaves such a wonderful distressed look, which is exactly what I was going for on this one, as opposed to using the embossing ink and the foil sticky that way. Okay, I'm like, I better hurry up and get some on this part for that totally dries. And I end up having to go back over some of that part of the clock, because it's supposed to be a clock die cut, y'all. Description box will show you the ingredients and that kind of thing. Look, do I show you close up? Well, I will eventually. I'll get to it, y'all. I'll get to it. So I'm not going to show you how to laminate them anymore, because you saw the one that's exactly how I did it. I get my napkins down to my size. I put them in my cut down pouches. I have ideas for those other things, and those videos might come out before this one. I don't know. We'll have to see. We have to wait for our magazine. Cross fingers. Just so excited, y'all. So we're going along, and I think this is where I decided it's not quite as sticky as I want it to be. It's still stuck okay. So let's just put a little more glue on there. Yeah, that's not sticky at all. Now, and I might get ready to speed up, y'all, because it's a 35-minute video, for crying out loud. Holy cow. Anyways, like I said, I worked on this project for a few days. Look. And it's still looks like that after it gets laminated. I know it's not something that's going to appeal to many people, or, maybe not even anybody except me. I don't know. But I liked it. I had a good time. I played. I experimented. I had fun. And there's no reason why you can't have fun when you art or craft. Oh, my other part stuck down there. Okay, we'll just stick it on there. Anyways, happy. It's really better if you let it set for a few minutes, or not a few minutes, a few seconds, 20 to 30, 40, 60 seconds. Yeah, it just works better that way. But this, y'all, see, I pulled off a little bit of the paper on that. I don't know if you could tell, but it did. But it's okay. It's okay. Look, it's pretty. Makes me happy. Okay, so this one's going on a time page. Would you imagine that's a time page? Hopefully y'all can read that at the photo montage. So now I am mixing some embossing powders because I want sort of a sand texture or color, along with some patina color to it, but not totally. So I've got gold, I've got verdigris, which is fancy word for green, and that's a holographic one there. I'm gonna mix them up. We're gonna do a little test so we can see, because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna play it smart and see if I like this color. It takes a while to do those napkin pages, because you got to split the napkin, you got to, matte medium it, and you got to let it totally dry before you peel it up off the butcher paper, wax side of the butcher paper, and then, put a coat of matte medium on the back of it, and then start designing your page. Okay? He can, y'all. I hope we can get to see the magic. Oh, it's magic. Embossing powder is just so stinking magical when it melts. It just is. I'm just saying, it just is. Well, I want a little bit more gold, so we're going to put just a little bit more gold. Here we go. That's probably enough, because I don't need a whole lot. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of this embossing powder, Really, I've got leftover for that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to do something with it. Oh, those are the little containers are from the Dollar Tree. They're just little paint containers you can get at the Dollar Tree. I said that already. Yeah, there's no name on that Marvy pen. It's an embossing pen by Marvy. It's a wet look, and there's no color name on it. So I don't know. So I'm going to make it look like sand coming out of that split in that watch, because that's supposed to be a watch, y'all. And yes, that came that way with that centerpiece. Hurry up. Don't want that pen to dry now. It shouldn't dry. It will dry enough, but not overly fast, because that napkin is sealed with the matte medium. Don't forget, y'all. Don't forget that. Just scooch that over. Oh, I'm going to put it back in the pot. Save all that preciousness, y'all. Gun. Careful with the heat on these, because the napkin has been plasticized, so you want to be careful with that. I'm like, yeah, I like it, but I want just a little bit more. That place didn't tag. I'm going to have it spill over here, make it look like it's spilling off. That's the look I'm going for, spilling off, and it came out that way. Oh, that's so creative, y'all. I did. I still do. And it's okay that I'm happy, y'all. I'm just saying. I think that quote says, time is not on my side. It's over my head, it's under my feet, maybe behind me, and it always runs out. Okay, here's a flip through. Now I'm going to have to kind of hold it up. See, if you begin each page by saying it's just some days are all sunshine when you just need some rain and a bow, you might have to slow it down to read everything. So click on that little gear and slow it down just a minute. It's going to make my voice sound funny, but that's okay. Just make it more funnier. I'm so happy with this thing. I used the cinch to bind it. And yeah, happy journal. Little snarky, got a little snarkiness going on. I think that might be my favoriteest page. I don't know. I think they're all my favoriteest page. Some days everything is black and white. Not really. It's all color or color, depending on location. And then that's a page that's got my name and address and stuff on it, so for when I submit it, they know who it is. And that's how it was. Good times, y'all. Now here is close-up. Oh, maybe y'all could read the pages this time. Some of them I got close-ups on the close-ups, so you can see. You can still see the sparkle. I mean, if you can see it in the photograph, you know it's sparkly in real life, and they're translucent. Okay, not total see-through, but they're fairly translucent. Look how cool that magical came out. Oh, y'all. Joy photo montage. Oh, there's the gold foil, and that's 3 different stamped images that I collaged in together so that they all melted in together and looked so neato pedo. My sense of humor is crazy silly, or maybe it's all in my head. Either way, I enjoy it. Oh, people. Make it fun. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow your eardrums out. This one was kind of hard. I'm like, what am I going to do on that page? See, there's my muse is right inside. See, there she is. Guarding a nest of eggs. And that is how it was. I appreciate your valuable time. Thanks for watching. And happy arting, y'all.